Hey everyone, it's Synth Designer here again, and I'm continuing my series Synthwave Essentials. Today I wanted to talk about a preset called Chunker. Now this one is from my Synthwave Essentials Volume 2 pack, and I wanted to play a short clip from a song. For now I'll just play the pattern, but this is how it sounds. So as you can hear, it's a little bit more complicated than some of the basic presets that I have, but let's take a look how to make it. So the first thing you'll notice is the 3 oscillators at work here. Now I have a couple different types, so let's zoom in and look. So the first 2 on the sub, I have the saw wave, and on oscillator A, I also have the saw wave. Both of those are pitched down a couple octaves, and on oscillator B, I have just a square wave. Now, as you'll see, the unison is at 1. That's just because it's kind of a deep sound, so I don't want to have stereo imaging on, or side imaging on the lower frequencies. And you'll also notice that the square wave is pitched down 3 octaves and not just 2. So here's the difference in sound. So it makes quite a bit of a difference. Now, the next thing is the fine knobs. I'll show you later that I have the LFOs attached to them, but I also have the fine pitch at 13 and -13. So that creates this kind of interesting width and texture to them. It kind of shows you that you can have a phasey sound to them almost. Kind of plain when they're just like this. I mean, it sounds fine, but you could definitely have them be a little bit more interesting. As you can hear, almost has that phase sound to it. Now, let's move on to the envelopes here and the LFOs. The envelopes, it's a very basic kind of pluck to it. It has kind of a sustained sound to it because of the depth of the square, and a bit of release too, but it's pretty short, the decay. I didn't want to be super bouncy. I just wanted that little bit of extra sound to it. Now the LFO, as you can see before, it was attached to the fine knob, so that again gives it a little bit of extra dimension. And you can see it moving here when I turn it on. You can see it moving back and forth. So that kind of creates that little interesting sound to it. Now I wanted to show you as well that the LFO is attached to the filter. As you'll see a couple things here. You definitely want the filter on for a bass sound, because here's what happens when it's not on. You get a lot of upper harmonics, and it's going to interfere with a lot of synth sounds or lead sounds you may have in your songs if you don't cut out at least some of those. As you'll notice as well, the resonance is up. That kind of creates that unique sound that you get from resonance. The drive is up as well. Now the LFO, you'll notice it slowly moves back and forth. So let's go back and check it out. And the LFO here is set to 4 bars. So it kind of is meant to move back and forth slowly, not open up too quickly. And that's what gives it that kind of interesting back and forth movement to it. And that really gives you a lot of flexibility as well in the song. You can turn it down even more to 8 or 16 bars, whatever you want. It just kind of is meant to be slowly opening and closing. So let's move over to the effects. The effects are very basic. Since it's a bass, I don't like to put in too many effects. I did put in a little bit of reverb here. You can hear a little bit. Now, if you don't want to turn it up too much, because if you do, you'll start to muddy up the signals a lot, and that will create a lot of different problems in your mixes as well. So that's about it. You'll find this in my Synthwave Essentials Volume 2 pack, which is completely free. Please go download it. It's on my website in the description. And have fun. I'll see you next time.